Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Samuel Ibanda, and today I just want to speak about 10 mistakes that you should avoid in case you're going for an interview. Now, I know that most of us do apply for jobs, and this process is not really easy because out of, let's say, 10 jobs or even 50 jobs, you may only get an opportunity to be invited for only just one job. Now, what do you exactly do if you want to be able to succeed at the job interview? Now, you need to avoid certain kind of mistakes. They are very simple mistakes, but many people do commit these mistakes, and they really cost them a lot. I have been part of several interview panels as an interviewer, but I've also been able to attend some interviews as a candidate because I am employed. And there are several lessons I've been able to pick. And I think these are mistakes that I want to share with you that you should avoid when you actually getting to an interview. Now, the first thing that I want to share with you is never go for an interview without preparations. Now, preparations is the first key aspect when it comes to passing an interview. If you've been invited for a finance and a job, have you been able to go through the job description? Line by line to understand what is required of the job, because believe me, the questions are not going to come from far. The questions are going to come from what is within the job description. Now, other than the job description, have you been able to do research about the organization that you're going to interview for in terms of their values, in terms of what do they do exactly, their services, their products? Because when you get to an interview room and you're giving your responses, you need to be able to align your responses to the organization. You can't be speaking about preparation of profit and loss to an NGO. You can't be able to. You can't be speaking about, let's say, products that are to do with, let's say, my alcoholic and so on, to an environment that is maybe Islam in nature and so on. So you need to understand the values. You need to understand the organization you're getting to, and that will help to give you a good preparation. Read extensively. Whenever I'm invited for interviews, I give my best. I take time to research, find out the new product has been launched, the challenges that they are facing in the market. Research about also the competitors, especially if you're in the area of business management and so on. Because at the end of the day, you're being interviewed so that you can be able to represent this organization better, even in the face of competition. So it is very important that you prioritize understanding more about the organization. The other mistake that you should really avoid when it comes to interviews is getting to the interview location late. Now, it's very important that you plan your arrival time to the interview place. Now, some of these places you've never been to them, and that means you have to get there a little early so that in case there is any room for, let's say, getting lost, then you are in a better position to actually get to the location. So that is very important. Now, the other mistake that you should also not avoid is the aspect of non-verbal communication. Now, usually, the interviewer is watching you. Is not just watching what you're speaking, but they're also watching your actions. They are watching your confidence. They are watching how you express yourself and your emotions and so on. Now, it's very important that you remain calm, you remain professional, your sitting posture, whatever you do, that smile matters a lot. The non-verbal communication that you provide should be in your favor. Anything that is outside the professional non-verbal communication tools, then you should avoid it because it will cost you. Not everyone just wants somebody who just sit and lay back and feel comfortable and feel like they are maybe at their own place and so on. So you need to be able to up the game when it comes to non-verbal. Avoid this. Now, the other that I also want to share with you when it comes to preparing for interviews is the aspect of dress code. Now, most people make a mistake. You are going for a professional interview. You know the dress code of the profession. If, for example, I'm going for an accountant's job interview, then I know I need to to dress up professionally. If it's a tie, I put a tie for gents. If it's a coat, I put a coat, I put a suit, because I believe that this job that I'm going for, I need to dress professionally. If they say you are an engineer, maybe they may be some flexibilities and so on, but you need to be able to dress professionally. Now, sometimes because you want to dress professionally, you want to go and borrow and put on clothes that you're not comfortable in, and clothes that um, you will struggle through the day when you are attending the interview. Now, avoid this. Make sure that some of the clothes you put on are clothes that you're comfortable in. Don't just pick up that coat that you've taken several months without putting on and you want to put it on. There's a gentleman who was trying to share. One of the candidates came for the interview to be interviewed, and a cockroach was moving all over his coat. Why? Because maybe this is a cloth that he had taken a long period of time without putting on, and you know what, put it on and it costed him his job. So that is very important. Ensure that you're putting on comfortable clothes. For the ladies, drive decently. It's not that if you you dress in a certain way that it will attract the other person. So that is very, very important. So that is an area that I want to share with you. Now, the other area that I want to also share with you is speaking up wrong about your past organization or the organization you're working for. Now, it's very important for you to impress the person whom you're going to work for, but it's not good for you to speak ill about the organization you've worked for previously. Why? Because this person who is interviewing you will be worried that even when it comes the time when you're leaving the organization, they will you'll actually speak the same about to the other next person who'll be interviewing you at that time. Now, not anyone wants to really go into such. So, as a professional, make sure that you limit on what you really put outside there. Speaking about your, let's say, your current employer or your past employers. Make sure that you're professional enough. It's okay for you to say, I left on professional grounds. I felt the work was not aligning to my career ambitions. Just leave it at that. Don't go so much into the details, because the details really create this kind of picture to the other party to feel like, I think it's not like you put out confidential information and you enter into you're trying to break certain rules. You might have signed data privacy rules and so on, and here you're giving a lot of information because you think you'll find favor in the interviewer. I want to say that that is not professional. Make sure that you are straight to the point. Summarize, say I left ABCD, that is it. So very, very important. The other aspect that you should avoid is getting out of emotions. Now, certain interviews sometimes test our emotions. Sometimes they will call you for an interview at 10 and you're going to do the interview. The panel is going to sit at around 11 and you're going to take an hour of waiting. Now, some people get out of emotions, and that will even show on their face when they are, let's say, going for the interviews. For some people, when they're in the interview, sometimes some interviewers want to put you in certain situations to test your temper, to test are you able to work in challenging and stressful environments, because that's what work exactly relates to. So it's very important as an individual to manage your emotions, to ensure that you remain calm, you remain professional, you remain with this mind of understanding that I am for this interview and I need to remain. These are humans. These are people you're going to work with in case you are to be employed, and you're going to be in worse, stressful environments than those. But somebody who remains composed, who remains calm, who remains professional, is a somebody who will be looked at as somebody who is really worth the job. Sometimes the interviewers will ask you a question, the same question and over time, and sometimes you want to get pissed off. But believe me, this is an opportunity for you to shine. It's an opportunity for you to demonstrate your best. So you cannot be messing up your career because you are pissed off in the interview. It is okay, but leave your emotions out of the interview and get to position yourself rightly for the opportunity. So that is very important. The other I want to share with you is the aspect of never forget us to ask a question. Sometimes the interviewer will give you a chance to say, "Do you have any question to ask us?" And certain people say, "I don't have any question." Now, you cannot get to an interview and you don't have any questions you have for the organization. I usually ask questions like, tell me about how my career looks like in such an organization. How does a day look like for let's say an accountant? I'll ask questions about, is this a new role, or it's a let's say replacement of somebody? How many staff does a person who holds this role supervise? How many people in the department, and what are some of the career opportunities if I take on this role within this organization? There are questions that you'll ask that will really put you forward. Sometimes you've not even done well in the interview, but when you ask that question, tell us about yourself, you're increasing your chances of actually getting into the interview, uh, uh, the success of from the interview. Sometimes that is time when they say, "Oh, brilliant question you've asked," and sometimes some of these questions. I'll give you an example. An organization I was interviewing for. I was a candidate, and asked me, "Do you have any question about maybe any question within the interview?" So I said, I recently read about the union new product that you have launched, ABCD. Please tell me how unique it is from some of your previous other products. And believe me, that really I was able to hear from them, and they knew that I was interested in their organization. I also showed that I was informed about their new product launch, and that created a room for me, and definitely I got an offer within the job. uh, the other could be asking about new project in case it's an NGO. There are things that you can really ask about. I know it's similar to this. The mistake that many people make is the aspect of asking, how much will you pay me? Or when okay, the question of when will should I expect to hear from you is very important, because as you as an individual, you want to plan your time, and you want to ensure that in case you get the offer, then you can be able to let's say put in your notice and so on. And yes, I agree, some organizations don't get back to you, so it's very important to maybe ask that question. But even you get before you get there, ask questions around their strategy, around their values, around the role that you're being interviewed for, and so on. Now, certain people make mistakes of asking, how much will you pay me? Now, the conversation of how much they'll pay you is not a conversation you want to bring to the interview room, unless they bring the conversation or they bring the question to you. As somebody who is interviewing for a certain role, it's very important that you remain composed and wait for the moment when that question will actually appear. Usually, how interviews run is that there's a time for negotiation, and that's a time when the organization gives you an offer and asks you if you're willing to take on the offer. But you asking how much will they pay you sometimes will depict you as somebody who is money minded, who is just looking at the salary. For me, I like the fact that I ask questions around my career growth, because I know that even despite, let's say, me going to earn however amount of money that I'm going to earn, I mind about my career within the organization, because it's of better benefit for me to get to an organization and grow through the organization. Even if the amount that I'm going to earn at the start of my roles in that organization is not really good, but me knowing that what is ahead of me within that organization is really very helpful and really kind. So avoid that mistake of asking questions like such of how much will you pay me. The other that of course sometimes the interviewer will ask you to carry certain documents. Carry them. Carry your photocopies. Sometimes even when I'm not asked, I carry some of my photocopies. What does it cost me? It's very important. If you're, let's say, doing interviews that are, let's say, online, ensure you're in an environment that is really conducive for the interview. So it's very important for you. And if you're being invited for interviews, let's say that are written interviews, it's very important for you to carry tools with you, like a pen, calculator for those that are, let's say, accountants, quantitative. Carry tools that you think will really be very helpful. Now, when you're carrying some of your academic documents, the files that you use to carry the envelopes, let them look professional. Don't just carry that file that you have used for how many interviews and looks really old. Invest in yourself. Invest in clear bags. Something. They are also they are professional document holders that you can be able to buy. They're not very expensive. You put your certificates and academic documents, they need to look professional at the end of the day. So, very important right there. So, those are some of the mistakes that I really feel that anyone who is really aspiring to get a job and has been invited for an interview that they need to really avoid. And I know that there are several other mistakes that maybe have costed you previously in a job interview. I'd like you to share some of those in the comment section so that we can be able to learn from each other. And in case this is your first time watching my YouTube channel, I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and invite a friend to also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's see how we can be able to help each other to be able to grow. And I know that your next interview will be better than how it has actually been. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I've also done a couple of videos around career, around accounting that I do believe will be very beneficial to you. In case you want to schedule, let's say, a coaching session, let's say you have been invited for an interview and you want me to help you, especially preparing for that interview, I would be really open to such kind of coaching sessions. So please reach out to me. My number is on my socials there, but just so you know, I also drop my number within the description so that we can be able to help you, and my email as well, and so on. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to the next video. And please remain to my channel. And I want to say God bless you. May your next interview come out as a success.